Hi, my name is Diego Mendoza, and today I'm going to talk about the global issue that I chose to work with. So, out of the 15 SDGs I had an option to choose from, I decided to go with what I consider is one of the most important ones, and that one is poverty. So, I decided to go with poverty because this is a problem that I think that has been going on for such a long time, and despite that, nobody seems to be really doing much. And so I want to not only raise awareness, but also educate more about how I can personally help in my community, both locally and also try to give more ideas about how we could solve this problem globally. Also, poverty has also caught my eye for quite some time now, as from the in the community where I live, there are parts nearby that unfortunately suffer a lot from poverty, and I wish things were different. And in order for me to be able to help them, I need to be more educated on the problem. In general, poverty is really relevant actually for the rest of the world because this implies that many millions and even billions of people are living under harsh circumstances that none of us could even imagine. We're lucky to be in the position where we are. We're probably within the 2-3% of the world that fortunately lives under good to above average conditions, but there are not many people that are as fortunate as us, and that is really, really bad for the rest of the world. So, after conducting some research, quite a lot of research actually, and also conducting some interviews with people that are more familiar than me to the problem, I pretty much reinforced the perspective I already had on poverty, which is the problem is really ignored and not many people really care about it. And this is something really big, as every day people don't even know how many persons die from this. They live under harsh conditions. They are pretty much inhumane, and it's just not fair for anybody. Anyway, after talking about all of the perspectives that I have acquired, all the research that I did, and basically explaining why I consider this problem to be really important, I came up with a proposal that I think helps the situation both short term and long term. And I hope that the rest of the world is able to follow it or at least do something similar to it because I consider this to help the problem in every single aspect of it. So my proposal's main objective is to target the problem by attacking it both short term and long term. How am I going to do this? Well, short term, I want to encourage every single person that has something that they don't use or they don't need and encourage them to donate it, and also raise awareness, different types of awareness, such as through social media, through whatever we can get our hands on, so that people can donate not only clothes, but food as well. Because here comes a time of the year where, where it's really cold and many people don't have any shelter to protect themselves with. And this leads to many diseases, deaths, even. As for the long term proposal, I was thinking that convincing governments to invest more into fixing poverty would be of great help, but this would be more of a long-term solution since we depend on the world economy to grow, and also we depend on different companies to open up more opportunities that don't exactly require much education. And also, well, proportioning more education for younger people, this would also attack the problem long term, as hopefully in the future people have enough education to acquire a decent job at the very least. This proposal to me would be cause a very big impact on myself. I think this would make me a more conscient person about the problem, and more educated. And I would just overall feel better about myself if I knew I was able to help out with one of the bigger problems that the world is experiencing right now. As good as this proposal is, it is impossible for it to be perfect, and therefore it experiences some negative consequences. For example, we can't really control what happens around our environment, and so natural disasters are something that can really, really bring us down. Damaging the environment would mean also damaging people's homes or even killing people that don't even have a shelter to begin with. And so that would be one of the main concerns. Another negative concern would be if the society just doesn't come together and eventually try to fix the problem, because we As for the short term solutions, we depend a lot on the society to come together, and it would be a big problem if they decide not to help in general. As for the economic side of this proposal, obviously we depend on the world economy to do overall better so that we can open up more job opportunities and eventually increase minimum wages across the world. And so, economically speaking, we don't see many weaknesses other than the fact that people that are able to help would start doing worse, but that would also depend on the world economy doing worse overall. And with how many businesses are opening up around the world, it's not looking like it's going to go down too much. Another big challenge would be obviously the current pandemic we're experiencing, how the world economy has gone down. However, with time, there would eventually be a vaccine, and this would mean that the world would get back up in its feet, which would eventually bring back the growth that was lost and even some more. As for my role in this solution, I would pretty much be maneuvering everything. I would try to bring people together, as much people as I know, so that they can come and donate whatever they don't need, whatever they don't want. And as for globally, it would be a dream of mine if I were able to help with the negotiations with governments, but this would be a very long process that I would be willing to take part of. Making a difference has been something that I have been wanting to do for the longest time, and so I hope my dream comes true. Thank you.